Happy Tuesday, everyone! I feel like I'm a little overdressed for today because it's really not that cold outside, but it's cold in my office. Okay, this is going to be a quick message, and I always say this, it's going to be a quick message, but on Sunday we were in church and we were listening to Pastor Sheldon share about, some founding principles of our church, leaving a legacy, leading other people, and there was another one that I can't remember, but I just thought of this as we were reading. It's in Romans 10, somewhere in 13 through 15, but it says, how beautiful are the feet of messengers who bring good news. And I thought of this because for a long time I felt called to share a certain message with mamas who have always walked the same, kind of the same line that I have with motherhood and business and all the things. But I'm feeling called beyond that this year. I'm feeling called to women who are not in my same season of life, who, are desiring different things regardless of the season of life that they're in. And this has kind of been a growing experience to reach out to people who are different in different seasons, who maybe have different, not necessarily values, but different things different priorities. This has been a growth period that feels kind of stretching, but I saw this verse and I was like, how beautiful are the feet of the messengers who bring good news. Good news is what God has gifted you. Jessica Rigner, one of my friends, shared this morning that our stories are, I don't remember exactly how she said it, but our stories are the key to unlocking someone else's future. The stories that make us who we are, that build the foundation of who we are as adults, or who we're growing into, or the kind of businesses that we run, or the kind of families that we're raising, or the kind of things that we are doing in our every single day life, maybe in our communities. These are the stories that will give people the opportunity to step into that next level, to unlock the door of their next breakthrough. Because what we are supposed to do, what we're called to do as we are going through hard season, is to pull lessons from those harder seasons of life that we can pass on to other people and to lead them with. How beautiful are the feet of messengers who bring good news. I feel like it's one of the greatest gifts that we have, is to share our experience with other people, to show them that there can be positive that comes from a negative season, that comes from a negative situation. There can be positive that's pulled, a lesson that's learned, things that you can build on that serve you and allow you to grow, and that will bless someone else. I think once I realized that there is purpose in every season, doesn't always mean that season is good, but there's always purpose in that season. There's always a lesson that's pulled from that. That helped me to have a different perspective on hard things. That helped me have a different light in really tough situations and really tough areas. And like last year, I said that I really struggled with friendship. I struggled with the areas of learning when to set boundaries and learning when it's time to say no. Moving out of toxic mommy wine culture. The fact that we can't deal with our kids without wine. I haven't talked overly about this, but my friend Alyssa Learman pointed this out on Instagram the other day, and I was like, that is so true. And it led to the decision of me not drinking this year, for an entire year giving up alcohol, because when I realized that I was starting to drink in the evenings in order to cope with hard days, that's when it became a problem. Drinking is not a problem, but when it becomes a crutch that we lean on in order to get through the days, or it's like what we're looking forward to at the end of the day, that's when you start to build bad habits. And that's true with anything. Maybe it's gossip, maybe it's food, maybe it's wine, maybe it's exercise. I've kind of gone through different seasons where all of those things have been my crutch at one point or another. But how beautiful are the feet of messengers who bring good news. There is an opportunity for change in your life. There's an opportunity to take something that has haunted you for a long time and choose to pivot from it and make something beautiful happen. So my decision to not drink this year was purely my decision. And I just decided on January 1, like, I was done. I'm done feeling tired. I'm done feeling like I have to drink to deal with my children, because that's never the kind of legacy I want to leave for them. Alcoholism also runs very heavily on both sides of my family. And so to know that that's kind of where I was pivoting scared me a little bit, scared me into a wake-up call. It was one of the things that scared me most about becoming a nurse, was the addictive behavior, because of how your needs aren't being met. You're overworked, underpaid, you're constantly going, and you're not appreciated for the work that you're doing. No one values what you're doing. And then I listened to a sermon this weekend called In the Deep, and I shared clips of it in my stories yesterday by Pastor Mike Todd, and I'm telling you guys, that man is anointed. But what I learned from listening to that is that the deep is lonely. The deep is where you are pulled from other people. You're pulled from the dependence on anything that doesn't bring you peace. And this is where it got me, because this was a message that brought good news and hope to me, because I look at the things in my life that I have depended on, and it hasn't brought me peace, and it hasn't brought me closer to who I want to be. And I'd ask you the same thing. If the things that you're leaning on to bring you a sense of fulfillment don't also bring you peace, you're leaning on the wrong things. You are looking for something that is leading you that doesn't have the ability to gift you just that supernatural peace, that supernatural calm. And that's, this year, my goal is to anchor firmly in Jesus, is to anchor firmly to the things that, while yes, this world, you know, there are things going on that are horrible and hard, I can find peace in knowing that God is still on the throne, and He's still directing all of this. And He's still using what we are choosing to do, how we're choosing to show up for His glory and for His good. It doesn't seem good. And there's a lot of things that seem really hard. And there's a lot of things that are like, why do we have to experience this? But He's still using those things for His good. And that right there, my friend, the things that you're walking through and you're experiencing right now, blessed are the feet of the messengers. How beautiful are the feet of the messengers who bring good news. Your story is bringing good news to someone else. Maybe a fellow mama who says, I don't have to walk through this alone. I now know, because she shared what the signs of postpartum depression are. I now know because she shared that there are other opportunities to shift my health and my energy. I now know that if I'm having to rush to the refrigerator at the end at 5 o'clock to get an alcoholic beverage to deal with my evenings, that's not healthy. And there's hope on the other side of that. It's on the other side of making a decision. So I really want you to think about this. I am all for thought-provoking conversations. I'm all for encouraging you to think about the things that are going on in your life that seem like distractions, but maybe that distraction is the doorway to your destiny. Maybe that distraction, that thing that keeps pulling at you, is the doorway to what is next for you. Maybe the hard things that you're going through right now are so that you can open that doorway to destiny for someone else. The waiting season is never wasted. But will you be someone with beautiful feet who bring good news to someone else, of hope, of joy, of peace, of a different life? It's why I continue to share so openly about how God has placed me where I'm at. In a season of motherhood that is challenging, but that has allowed me to step into the online space as a presence and a hope for women who need to be reminded that this is a gift. This season is a gift, and it's hard and it's challenging, and there's a lot of different opinions about what being a mother looks like in our day and age. There's a lot of opinions about what running a business as a mama in our day and age looks like. But let me tell you, learn from the people who are doing what you do, what you want to do, but have a supernatural peace about them that seem to be guided by some kind of other something besides popular opinions, being known. I don't need to be known. I don't need anyone to know who I am, but I want to be effective. I want to know that because someone did hear what I said, or someone read what I wrote, that their life was changed, that their future was changed, because it was the thing, it was the confirmation, it was that divine intervention just when they needed it to make a decision, to make a change. I'm all for healthy changes. It's why I love partnering with Isagenix, because our goal is to be at the forefront of health and wellness, to provide a place to take care of your body. The art of well-being is what we are moving into this year, and I have never been more aligned with anything ever. I said when I came to this company, I felt aligned with it. I felt like God's hand is all over the work that we're doing, but it's because He's still the main thing. My goal is to serve people with health so that they understand that there is an opportunity for growth when you take care of your temple. When you take care of your body, you energize yourself, you get good rest, you're putting good fuel in. That opens the doorway for the next thing that you want to do. Maybe it is having a baby. Maybe it is being a more energetic Intentional mom. Maybe right now you're just getting by on coffee and energy drinks and chicken nuggets. Been there. Maybe it's community. Maybe it's the key to unlocking that community for you, to create your own community. Maybe it's financial blessing. I cannot say enough that the power of understanding how your story can impact someone else and help change not just their future, but your family's financial future. All I do is tell stories. All I do is invite you into everything that I'm doing, and I tell you stories, and I share with you experiences, and I celebrate the women on my team whose stories have profoundly changed my life and who started because I kept sharing my stories, and it was the key to unlocking something in their future. We are a crockpot team. We are a crockpot community. Come and cook as you need to. Some will jump out of the crock pot earlier than others, and some will stay and they will marinate and they will slow cook. But however you come, however you're here, you're welcome here. Blessed are the feet of the messengers who bring good news. I want to bring good news to you today. No matter where you're at, no matter where you're starting today, there is an opportunity to make a change if you so desire it. There is an opportunity to shift what you are so frustrated with. Yesterday, I consolidated my credit card debt. I've talked about debt for the last 5 years and how I was going to be out of it. I spoke it into existence 2 years ago. Before I was pregnant with Charlotte, I said, I will be a 6-figure earner in network marketing. I will do it. And it didn't happen. It didn't happen. But you know what? God provided through that season. We had exactly what we needed. I was in a season of family. I needed to be present with my family. Then I got pregnant. And then it was like energy fluctuations, all these things. He provided exactly what I needed in that season. This is the year of overflow. This is the year of abundance. This is the year of those things because I was faithful to the seasons that I was called to. Be faithful to the season that you're called to. Not everybody is called to run. Not everybody is called to be an Instapot person. Sometimes you need to sit in the crock pot and cook for a little bit longer. And that's okay because it takes all kinds of kinds. But your story, no matter how fast, how slow, how many detours you've had to take, is the key to unlocking someone else's future. Is the key to blessing forward what God has given you. And that is called creating a legacy. And that's something that will live on past an Instagram story or a Facebook Live or however you're finding this video. So I in all of my genius and all of my wisdom, want to encourage you to really just implore your mind and just be like, where am I at right now? Where do I feel called? What is my passion? How do I want to serve? What do I need? What do I need? Because when I came, I saw the financial opportunity and I thought that that's what I needed. But I really needed community. I really needed leadership. I needed someone with influence to pour into me and mentor me. And I wasn't ready to receive it. And she knows I wasn't ready to receive it. I wasn't ready to run. I said I was and I forced it, but I wasn't ready. I was being developed. I was being marinated. And I did the things that I needed to do, but I wasn't all there yet. And then I came to this place where now I'm being pulled in multiple directions, and I still committed and I still showed up and I still took care of myself. But that was a season of self-care. That was a season of blessing from where I was at. That is what I needed. This is the season of overflow. This is the season where I take all of the things that I have learned and I pour it into you. If you're that person, if you're that woman that's like, I need this, I give you that. I will pass it forward. I will forward speak. I will, lay it out there for you, because blessed are the feet of the messengers who bring good news. I bring good news to you. No matter where you're starting, there is always an opportunity for growth, but you have to ask yourself what you need most. If you don't love what you're doing, look at it as a lesson and ask yourself, what can I do in this? What am I learning? What kind of lesson am I pulling from having to work with people I don't like? Maybe it's time to start a side business. Maybe it's time to start something, a passion project that brings you joy. Maybe it's time to shift your routine so that you have more time for yourself in the morning before you go off and pour into other people every single day. If you're in a season of motherhood and it's exhausting, maybe this is a time for you to learn how to ask for help or find a community to be a part of. One of my favorite things is that over these last couple of years, I have found community everywhere I have turned, and it has always been exactly what I needed. I found Osteogenics, I found MOPS, I found our local church, I found a small group of friends that support me and surround me, and that I get to encourage, and I'm encouraged by their growth as well. So ask yourself what you're looking for. What do you need most right now? And then dive into it. And let me just say, not everything that you're going to want to do is going to bless you financially. My husband's biggest frustration is that the things that I love most haven't been profitable up until now, because I had a lot of things to learn. And my first priority is always my family. And so that's okay too. That's okay. But that's what the good news is that there are opportunities for you no matter what season you're in. There is a gift out there for you just waiting for you to tell your story. The moment you start telling your story and following some kind of mentor, whether it be a pastor that you love, whether it be someone on social media, or whether it just be tighter knit in your relationship with Jesus, that relationship, that mentorship should bring you peace. If it doesn't bring you peace, run from it. If the relationships around you cause you more anxiety than they do bring you peace, run from them. And don't apologize. Don't apologize for getting out of something that doesn't bring you peace. Because I will tell you, when you're walking in peace, you show up as a totally different person. That's been the best compliment that I've had this year so far, is that I'm showing up differently. And I'm believing bigger, and I'm believing beyond what's in front of me right now. Because I let go of the things that were causing me stress and anxiety. I stopped looking at what other people expected of me and how much I should do, or how much I should make, or how much I should give, and just said, you know what? God's going to bless what I'm doing if I'm walking in the plan that He provided for me. Not the plan that I want Him to bless, but the one that He put in front of me. And said, walk in obedience. Just say yes. Just do that one thing. So, blessed are the feet of the messengers that bring good news. What is your good news? What do you offer to someone else who's in the same season of life? What joy, what hope, what peace, what can you bring in this season to someone else who needs it? How can you offer them a piece of your story that will help them transcend to that place of peace in their own life? If you are an influencer on social media, and if you have 2 people that like your post, you're an influencer. Ask yourself before you post, is this going to bless someone today? What kind of value am I adding to other people? People always want to ask, well, how did you build a following? I blessed people. I offered value. I paid forward the things that I learned. Every Sunday, I have a whole notebook. I sit and I take notes the whole time we're in church. Throughout the week, I listen to sermons and I write them down. And then I reteach them in the way that it applied to me. That's blessing forward. That's all you have to do. If you want to be effective, take what blesses you and bless someone else with it. But that was longer than I expected it to be. So many opportunities to bless forward. If you are not a part of the She Believe brand community now, and you're a woman who is looking to activate her faith this year, to walk through life with priorities, understanding and knowing that God's purpose for you will supersede everything else if you walk with alignment, I would love for you to join us. I'll drop the link in the comments below, or you can DM me directly for that link. If you are a woman growing your business in the online space, we just launched something called She Grows Virtual. This is a community for women who are looking to work with priorities in the virtual space and understand what it takes to get from where you're at right now, to grow to where you are automating, you're engaging, you're creating the kind of workflow that you desire, but your priorities come first. That's the most important. And then last but not least, if you are in the place that you need a change wellness-wise, I want to offer you an opportunity to still join us for our Fast to Flourish 21 days of prayer and fasting. This is 21 days dedicated to being intentional about where you feel called this year, being intentional to dive deep. I'm not apologizing for my faith anymore. I'm not apologizing for inviting people specifically into that. Maybe it limits who I'm serving, but that's okay. That's okay. If you're curious, this is a thing, you know? If you're curious about what it is that allows me to do what I do and have the energy and the excitement and the peace about what I'm doing in a time that is uncertain, all I can say is faith. That's what it's been for me. Because if I didn't have that, if I didn't have hope of something better and that there was a plan going on behind all of this chaos, I wouldn't be on social media. I wouldn't show up. It's not worth it some days. But when you understand that there is a bigger plan, it starts with your health, and then it pours out through intentionality, routines, non-negotiables, which I'm going to teach you through all of that. That's where life really starts to get good. So I love you guys. I'm excited. Last little tidbit here is I have an exciting announcement coming. I'll post it this evening. A little exciting announcement. Many of you have asked me about this for years, and it's finally happening because I finally just took the leap, knowing that God will bless forward my obedience finally. And I'm just excited about it, and I cannot wait to share it with you. So stay tuned. I'll post it sometime later this evening. But love you guys. Have a great evening.